So, actually, I know that people were wanting me to talk about this, and this is definitely a little more serious, but it's something that I feel like is valid and is worth talking about, and that is the whole Lil Loaded thing, Lil Loaded situation, the death, the passing of Lil Loaded. But instead of me just kind of talking about it, I'd be interested to just react to what Blackie said about it, because he has like a short video. So I think I'm just going to react to that, then add my thoughts in there. So let's do that, because I'm a fan of Lil Loaded. I'm definitely a fan of Lil Loaded, and hearing about that definitely made me upset. And truthfully, I was so focused on doing these Twitch streams and kind of doing this, making changes in my life, so I didn't really get to dive into it or give my attention to it that much. But I saw a little bit, so we'll see what the full scope is. I have not talked to Tommy Craze. No, I haven't, and I'm sure he's pretty beat up about it. I don't talk to Tommy that much. He doesn't really answer the DMs a lot, but he kind of is like a recluse.
No, it's definitely sad, man. What do you want me to say? Seeing a lot of these young rappers coming up with so much potential, full of life, full of energy, driven as hell, just for them to a year or two later be gone, breaks my heart, man. Truly does. At this point, though, you've probably heard the news. You've obviously seen the title of this video. It's been confirmed that Dallas rapper Lil Loaded has died at the age of 20 years old. On Monday, May 31st, Ashkan Mariari, attorney for the rapper, real name Deshaun Maurice Robertson, confirmed the news to XXL this afternoon. Sadly, the rumors are true, and Mr. Robertson did pass away today, Mariari wrote in a statement. The cause of Lotus' death is unclear. Now, I want you to check out this Instagram story right here. It was actually Lil Lotus' last IG story, which has now since then been deleted, but this is what it said. Dear Most High, please forgive me for my shortcomings and all the times I've fell short of making you proud, and I'm being appreciative of the blessings that have been put in my life. Sometimes the lines are blurred between being solid and being heartless. I want to thank you for how far I've come and the people you put in my life to keep me grounded and humble through everything. And I love every single one of those people that are genuinely for me. I ask for entrance into your kingdom through all my mistakes. I know you love all your children, and I'm ready for my heart and soul to join you.
Damn. Wow. That was really like a letter, like a suicide note. Wow. That's really sad he posted that.
Wow, very potent, obviously very sad, shook me to my core, bro. As you can tell, this sounds like some kind of goodbye letter. The guy was clearly going through something, man. I've been seeing some rumors going around regarding Lil Loaded killing himself because of something that happened in his personal life. In this video though, I won't really be talking about that. It'd be very irresponsible for me to even entertain that theory right now. His family is presumably grieving like hell at the moment.
Yeah, so essentially I did see this, and I understand why Blackie is ignoring it, but for the sake of this stream, I'll just basically one of Lil Loaded's friends supposedly posted that he was going through it with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend cheated on him, and that is what made Lil Loaded make this decision. And it's kind of ridiculous how many people just automatically saw that and were just like, oh yeah, like that's definitely what happened, and then continue to spread that. Not trying to devalidate. I don't know who this person was. I don't know if they were actually friends with Lil Loaded, but it literally could have been anyone who said that, and then just for people to run with it and just be like, oh, that's what happened. From what I know about suicide is it definitely can be a impulse decision, but a lot of the times people are going through a lot of things, multiple things that are stacked on top of each other that push them to do such a thing. So for people to boil it down to just like, oh, his girlfriend cheated on him, like fuck women, they're the worst, like I don't know about that one. That doesn't really sound like a valid thing, and I don't think that people should assume that that's the story. So, yeah.
Really want to add any fuel to anything that could simply be a rumor. With that being said, will I discuss it in the next couple of videos as more information starts to come in? Probably, but for now, let's skip that. Like a lot of people, I found Lil Loaded through my boy Tommy Craze.
Yep.
He's actually the one who pretty much blew him up by reacting to Lil Loaded's music when he had literally 0 views.
Facts.
Just a message to my boy Tommy, by the way. Hey bro, take your time with grieving. Can't even begin to imagine how hard this has to be on you. Here for you if you need me, man. Seriously, bro, take care of yourself, and we'll talk soon, man. I say this every single time, man, but lost potential is devastating. It's not so much only about the music, but more so about what this very much young person who was full of life could have became at a later stage in their life. It's the not knowing that kills me. And for Lil Loaded, he accomplished a lot of cool things in the short amount of time he was in the industry, gained a lot of loyal fans throughout this time, had a very energetic aura about him. Personally, I actually wasn't a big fan of Lil Loaded's music. I liked one of his songs, which is Gang Unit, Dance to This Bitch If You Can, but never really got into his music like that. Love that song, by the way.
I was a fan of Lil Loaded's music, and it was very, very good. And we're definitely going to listen to some Lil Loaded after, for sure.
You can tell, you know when an artist is really dope, and you kind of know that, but on a personal level, you just don't connect with their music like that. It was one of those cases for me personally. But the boy was clearly going through it though, man, and I think that IG story I showed you tells us that ain't no telling what these rappers go through behind closed doors. That obviously goes for everyone, but in relation to rappers specifically, a lot of these young guys deal with all those internal battles they have by unfortunately suppressing them with things like drugs. The fact of life though is, if you don't feel it, you're never gonna heal it. So you have to face these things if you want to eventually get through them. I honestly feel like the mental health side of things in hip-hop really isn't all that emphasized. It's a conversation that consistently comes up. However, at the end, our focus seems to always shift towards the glamorous side of the industry. The money.
Facts. Yeah, man, I've been thinking about that recently too. Like every time there's something that comes up, like people are like, oh, mental health, take care of your mental health, we care so much, but people don't give a shit. Bro, when NLE Choppa was trying to make a change and like trying to do better for himself and trying to go on like a spiritual journey and doing all this stuff, like people were clowning him. And I mean, for me, I took a little part in the memes because it's funny, like, oh, NLE chakra or whatever, like, because it's a little funny, but people were dead ass just clowning him when he's like, oh, all right, word, I'm going to try to, you know, do better and not talk about the street stuff and like, you know, eat better, live better. And it's like, dude, it's the mental health support for rappers is extremely low. And I also saw somebody coming up saying I also saw something blow up on Twitter a few weeks ago that was like, you know, record labels should be paying for rappers to go to therapy. They should have that. They should have health insurance for their artists. And I never thought about that. I'm like, man, that would be extremely valuable, no? Like, shouldn't record labels provide health insurance for their artists? I mean, it's not, I mean, I know they have right around billions of dollars. I feel like they could afford health insurance. I'm sure that do you think that the people that work at record labels have health insurance plans? They might. They probably do. At least people who are higher up. Why not give it to the people that are actually fueling the money that's making these record labels so rich? So, yeah.
The cars, the women, the clothes, the mansions. It goes without saying, but you can have all that shit and still feel like you're living a pointless existence. And I know that not because I have all those things. I mean, I don't have a big ass mansion, I don't have $1 million worth of jewelry, and I certainly don't have a Lamborghini, none of that. But I know it because I speak to a lot of these guys. I've had tons of conversations with some decently successful rappers, most of them young, and the whole conversation about how they're not happy always comes up. They have all these things, yet can't even sit inside their room for 5 minutes without medicating with pills. And that's a very bad place to be because you're essentially numbing yourself 24/7, and that's obviously very...
Facts. Yeah, for anybody out there, if you think that, you know, even if you are achieving your goals, whether that is getting money or blowing up or becoming a rapper or artist or whatever it is, If you really genuinely think that that's going to make you happy, it doesn't. Just being like a YouTuber or just being a Twitch streamer or whatever you want to consider a content creator, for me, that is not the thing that necessarily makes me happy. I do love what I do, and I'm sure rappers love what they do as well. But the things that make me happy are having a stable relationship, not having a boss, which is part of the YouTube, having really good, solid friendships, and just internally being happy, just being happy with myself. And I feel like I'm in a really good place mentally. I feel like I have been for a few years, definitely the past couple of years. I wasn't always this way, though. And I think that it really does come from like inside you. It does not come from material things. It doesn't come from external things. It 100% has to come from inside of you. And it's a hard thing to achieve. So, yeah, for anybody that thinks like just because rappers are living this crazy life, shit, it might even be harder. Because now they got all these fake ass people in their ear. They got all these people that want to be their friend. They got all these people that are saying, oh, I'm such a big fan. I fuck with you, blah, 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 when they don't. They just want something out of you. So that is even more stress.
Very unhealthy. Now, why is that? Well, it's simple. They haven't really taken the time to address the shit that actually matters, man. You gotta keep in mind that a lot of these young rappers come from very harsh environments. Just a year ago, they were sleeping on a mattress in their mom's house. The next year, they're out in the Hollywood Hills, smoking on the finest of finest in a penthouse, living lavishly, surrounded by 10 baddies, and life is
all right,
good, but
Blackie, we get it.
So quickly indulge themselves in it, which there's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself, and plus, it comes with the territory, right? Have at it. The unfortunate part, though, is the fact that they haven't healed from all their past traumas, haven't addressed those things. Literally go from 0 to 100 in the span of 12 months. It's overwhelming, man, especially when you come from a background where poverty, famish, and death has been all around you ever since you came in this world. I think something goes on in their brain where they almost feel like they don't deserve all these good things they have going for themselves, because for the entirety of their lives, they've been stuck in a constant cycle of things going wrong. You gotta be mentally strong to be able to handle it, which is why I always say that being a successful rapper ain't as glamorous as it seems. There's obviously pros and cons to everything, so you gotta take a look at the bad, the good, and then pursue it if you're okay with the consequences. And that's step number 75 though, so if you're starting out, don't even worry about that. But what you do need to worry about is making sure you're mentally good, and that goes out to all my aspiring rappers out there. We've seen a crazy amount of death in this genre though, man, and honestly, I'm fucking sick of it. You're not supposed to be dying at the age of 20, bro. You're not, man. You're a baby. As young people, man, we just got so much potential, so much life ahead of us. Let's never, ever, 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 ever make any permanent decisions that are influenced by the emotions that are coming from a temporary situation. That situation is gonna pass. Life is gonna pass. You're gonna get past that and see better days. With that being said, don't have much to say apart from that. My heart goes out to his family, friends, and most importantly of all, fans. Rest in peace to Deshaun Robertson, professionally known as Lil Loaded. May God rest his soul, and yeah, R.I.P, man. R.I.P.
R.I.P Lil Loaded, for sure. R.I.P, man. That's got to be probably one of the saddest things, the saddest ways to go. I mean, for all those people that are trying to say, like, trying to justify or trying to be like, oh, it's because of the situation with his friend and he knew he was about to do jail time and all that shit. It's like, if you want to talk about that or whatever, like, just do it privately. But for the people that are posting it online, like, oh, he killed his friend and that's why he realized he can't handle the, like, just save it for another day, man. Like, it's either way, like, to get somebody to be at that point where they feel like they need to remove themselves from the earth, that's a dark place, man. And it is 100% a temporary decision, or a permanent solution to a temporary problem. I've never been to that dark of a place in my life. Thankfully, I'm grateful for that. I've definitely had my fair share of sadness and depression in my life, and been through some dark times for sure. Thankfully, never that. I always was self-motivated. There was something inside of me that said, like, this is going to get better eventually. Somehow I used it as fuel to motivate me to, do better and to achieve a life that I want to live. So it wasn't easy, but that's like that's where I would, push you guys to try to get to. If you're in a situation right now and it isn't the best and you really feel upset, like deeply sad or depressed, try to use that as motivation to get out of that situation. Like, everything I did was a distraction. YouTube, music, whatever I was trying to do, it was all a distraction from the bad things that were going on in my life. And when I was doing those things, when I was distracting myself, it made me feel happy. It made me forget. And I just worked so fucking hard on that shit so I could just make it out, basically. And unfortunately, Lil Loaded just didn't really, I guess, do the long-term thinking, and he just, made an impulse decision. So R.I.P to him, and it definitely makes me sad, man. He had so much potential, so much talent, and that's the second artist. Six Dogs also passed away due to suicide. R.I.P. Six Dogs. And it's sad, man. You never really know what somebody's going through. You can never tell. Some of the most depressed, sad people I've ever met will be some of the happiest people. You really just don't know. It's all internal. You could try to inspire people. You could try to help people. I try to help people just by being me and trying to take their mind off whatever the fuck is going on. But ultimately, like, it really comes from inside. You got to be the person. You got to be the one that takes matters into your own hands and tries to get better. And also, I will encourage this. If you do have at least one person that you could talk to, do it. Because talking about it, really, it sucks right away. It sucks so much talking about it. But then it feels so good just being able to tell someone. But you got to make sure you tell the right person. And also, if somebody is telling you these things, take it very seriously, like right away. Like, you have to, as a person, you have to be able to understand when somebody is telling you something real, something from inside of them, and you have to take that very seriously, because in that moment, you are basically their therapist, and you need to, I feel like, as a person, as a human, as a friend of that person, you need to take that very, very seriously, and you need to do the best you can of just listening. Really, a lot of people, the hardest part is just talking about something, but if they get the courage to do it, like just listening to them and just saying, like, I understand, or I appreciate, you telling me this, and just being an ear for them to vent to is like, bro, that'll really change somebody's life for sure. First doctor I went to for depression told me to get over it. Yeah, doctors aren't always the answer, man. I really recommend just having friends. Like, I always had good friends. I don't think I particularly vented to them about my problems, but just being able to be around them and them to accept me for who I am, and we could just be goofy and fun and whatever, that is what always helped me. I would say somebody that you trust, somebody that you know, somebody that you love would probably be the best person to go to. Not saying the doctors or whatever, that's just for me personally. Maybe that's bad advice, but oh, and the other thing I wanted to mention, I forgot about this, but the whole thing where when rappers pass away, then people follow them on Instagram and they get a bunch of clout from that. I kind of have a mixed opinion on that. I understand why people are like, oh, that's fake love and whatever. Yeah, I mean, it is, but I'm not even going to lie. I barely was tapped in with Lil Peep. I kind of vaguely knew about Lil Peep, but it wasn't until he passed away that I came across his music and then I became a fan. And I recognized, like, damn, I missed out on this. This is so sad. But at the same time, like, being able to appreciate somebody's art after they pass away doesn't necessarily mean that you're a bad person. And, like, I love Biggie, he passed away the same year I was born. Does that mean it's fake love that I think he's one of the best? of all time, and I think that he's, could be probably is my favorite like 90s rapper. That's not fake love. Now, if you try to post and you're like, damn man, I loved Lil Loaded, and you didn't know him, nobody's ever really gonna know that anyway. So that's just weird if you're doing that. I think the biggest thing that's like corny or weird is like when people like, bro, my mentions blew up. People tagging me in posts like R.I.P Lil Loaded, and they've never tagged me in a post before. That shit's weird, bro, because I could tell they're trying to get me to share it on my story, and then they'll get people to come over and get likes. That shit's weird. And even me myself, like, I don't even like tweeting or whatever RIP about an artist. I just do it. I do it out of respect, but I don't like that those are some of my biggest tweets. I don't like that rap blogs and shit rush to release this news. I don't like that people go live and immediately want to talk about it. They immediately have a video to post or whatever. Like, that shit is kind of lame to me, to be honest. I mean, I get it. It's news and people want to hear about it, and you're capitalizing on what people actually want to see. But that's the thing that I think is the fake love. Like, a rap blog will literally never post about Lil Loaded's music, and then when he dies, they're like, oh, R.I.P. Like, you never even posted about him, bro. I talked about Lil Loaded. There are multiple videos of me reacting to him. So, yeah. It's just, you know what I mean. This is my shit.
If Drew didn't film it, then it ain't filmed right.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
But Deja, you a rock star.
Pop me a X, 2 Percocets. Bitch, I'm out my body. Black deuce stress, ain't that neck. I'm finna catch a body. Pop me a X, 2 Percocets. Bitch, I'm out my body. Black deuce stress, ain't that neck. I'm finna catch a body. He gotta die if I pop me a X. Won't give him no warning, just put on the rest. We don't aim for no chest, so boy put down that vest. All that boy had and we shooting through bricks. I went got a new Glock and extended the clip. I'm wagging it, partner, his mama, his cousin, his auntie, and whoever else shedding tears. 2 Percocets, I ain't feeling no fear. Shooting it out of they say 50 years. DPDK just so we can be clear.
Yeah.
Smacker, I do it for real. Calling the law that you go on that drill. Pop me an X, now I wanna kill. Keep wagging niggas, I love how I feel. Speak on my name when I'm off with that pill. He gotta die, bitch, it unkneel. Pop me a X, 2 Percocets.
Bitch, I'm out my body.
Black deuce stress, ain't that neck. I'm finna catch a body. Pop me a X, 2 Percocets. Bitch, I'm out my body. Black deuce stress, ain't that neck. I'm finna catch a body. The beat on fire, smoking this shit. Diamonds the only thing cold in this bitch. I'm smoking gas, so I'm going in this bitch. Shit got me stuck moving slow in this bitch. Beam on this body, gon' glow in this bitch. 50 round joint, let it blow in this bitch. I'm letting her go if she hoeing this shit. Pop me a X and forget about love. Turn to the devil, a handful of slugs. Throwing up seeds like I play for the Cubs. Took
Yeah.
20 years, I'm due for a dub. Now I'm taking off, I remember the mud. Fresh as some soap, but I look like some suds. Illegal money when I'm in the hood. Go get a pack and go serve all the junkies.
Deja, you a
I'm
rock
chasing
star.
the money. Pop me a X, 2 Percocets. Bitch, I'm out my body. Black deuce stress, ain't that neck. I'm finna catch a body. Pop me a X, 2 Percocets. Bitch, I'm out my body. Black deuce stress, ain't that neck. I'm finna catch a body.
Bro, this song is a banger, bro. What the fuck? R.I.P Lil Loaded, man.